Okay, awesome. I think everyone is back. So let's move to our next business spotlight segment. Now, with over 25 years of experience in innovation and leadership roles in the technology sector, with major institutions like CBA, Macquarie, ASX, Janey Treleaven has been at the forefront of technology from the very beginning, and more recently at the forefront of AI adoption for Australian small businesses. Today, she's going to focus on how to navigate through the very complex world of AI and really work out how best to leverage it for your own business's success. So, I myself am very excited about this segment. So, with that, I will hand over to Janey.
Fantastic. Thanks so much for that incredible introduction, Kavita. Thank you. Hopefully, can everybody see my presentation? Is that?
Sure can, yeah.
Fantastic. A bit worried there. I was sharing my emails. Cool. So the topic I'm going to cover today is how to decide what tasks to delegate to AI. The reason I decided to cover this is because it can feel really overwhelming. AI is so different to other tech innovations and tech revolutions that we've had in the past, especially where most of them have been something that you added to your business, whereas AI is going to change the way that you do all sorts of different stuff inside your business. So how do you decide where to start? So that's what we're going to go through today. But I'm going to start with a couple of statistics. So I'm sure you're all hearing the buzzwords, and I try to stay on top of all of the research and the studies that are being done. And these seem to be some really consistent statistics coming out about what AI has the potential to do based on what people are actually seeing and reporting. You can save 30% of your time. It can increase your revenue by 5%. Tasks can be done 25% faster, with a 40% quality and improvement. Okay, so if it can do all of this stuff, then why is it that we're seeing very slow adoption in Australia, and especially in smaller businesses? We're seeing that people are only spending about 3 hours using the tools already available that makes their quality cheaper, all of those things. Why are people in smaller businesses only spending 50% of the time that people in larger businesses are spending on AI? And I think that's because we're most affected by some of the misconceptions. So these are a few of the misconceptions that I keep hearing in the calls that I have with our clients. AI is too expensive. That's not true at all. It's affordable. There are so many different affordable options for businesses of all different sizes. Oh, but it's going to replace my staff and they're worried about it. Again, that's not true. It's going to augment. It makes it so that you can spend more time doing the things that you actually want to do and the higher value tasks. It's all about enhancing, not replacing. But it's just for generating content or marketing. No, like I mentioned before, there's an AI out there for every single task in your business. You just have to find the right one. Oh, but I'm going to have to completely overhaul my existing systems. I've already invested so much. Look, lots of your tools that you've already put money and time and effort into configuring, they're developing AI functionality. It may have already been released. You've just got to start adopting it. And you know, it really is an incremental journey. It's not like traditional tech where it's a big up and down curve. AI is a pathway, and it's a long journey to adoption right throughout your business. And the last one I hear the most, ChatGPT gave me the wrong answer. Okay. It gives you false positives and you need to verify it. Okay, so I just used a term then that you may not have heard of yet, false positive. Well, a false negative, you're actually probably quite used to, you just haven't heard it described in that way. So the best example of a false negative is in a search result. So you go to Google or to Bing and you type in a search query, but it doesn't return the result that you wanted. You don't go, oh, it's wrong, it's not working. You modify the search term and try again. So that's a false negative. And we're really used to false negatives. We go, hang on, no, I know the answer is out there. I just need to find it. And you keep trying. And false negatives are quite easy to understand. But what we're going to have to get used to with the AI is also understanding and identifying false positives. So an AI might sound really smart. It may even sound smarter than you, but actually it's not. It hasn't reached human sentience yet, okay? So it isn't smarter than you. It might sound great, but you've got to verify the detail. Critical thinking is going to become a really, really important skill. So I want you to always ask yourself, the answer looks good, but is it actually correct? Okay, so how do we decide? This is a tool that I use. It's a quadrant that I use in a lot of the conversations I start having with our clients about, okay, where are we going to start? And I always start with the emotive as opposed to the rational, which I'll get to next, because we're humans and we are emotional. Okay, so on the vertical, I've got the things you love to do at the top and hate to do at the bottom. Now, this is a question I got asked the other day. Would you rather halve the amount of work you hate or double the amount of work you love? A lot of people are like, oh, double the amount of work I love. Like, I want to spend most of my time doing love. Well, I actually would personally, and what I recommend is that you try and halve the work that you hate first, because then that's going to create the capacity to do more work that you love. Okay. So that's actually how you sort of figure out where to start with AI. Now, across the horizontal axis, a lot of people would think, oh, well, I should start with the not good at. Well, that's actually not true, because like I just said, with the false positives, you still have to verify it and you still have to check that the answers are correct. So if you don't have the expertise to actually know whether it's right or not, that's probably not where you should start. Start with the I'm good at. So the sweet spot for delegating to AI is stuff that you are good at so you can verify it, and the stuff that you hate to do, because the faster you automate that stuff or bring AI in to augment you, the sooner you can do more that you love. But of course...
Sorry to interrupt you, but I can see Nick has raised his hand, so I'm assuming it's a question, Nick?
No, that was from before. Sorry, I'll take it off.
Sorry.
When we're doing the intro. Sorry, I'll take it off.
Okay,
so a very pressing question.
So moving on to the rational side of your brain, because we are business people and we want to make money or save money, also like to look at all the tasks from this perspective as well. So on the vertical, instead of the love-hate, on this vertical, we've got the accuracy level, okay? AI is still quite limited in terms of the accuracy. Okay, so if you're going to delegate to an AI, you probably want to start with the tasks that allow for some margin of error. Okay, even if you put things into place like the right human in the loop with the right expertise, you're still going to want there to be the potential for some margin of error. Okay, and then across the axis, we've got across the horizontal, we've got low cost and time savings, high cost and time savings. So you do have to spend time setting up the AI, finding the right tool, building it into your processes. You're not going to want to invest that kind of time and effort into something that you only do once or twice a year. You want it to be where it's really repeatable so that you can get that return on investment. So from a rational perspective, the sweet spot for starting with delegating to AI is some margin of error, high cost and time savings. So just to wrap this up, these are the three things I keep saying to people. Regular use, ensure that the task justifies the setup time. Okay, like I just said, please don't spend time setting something up that you're not going to keep using. And tied into that is, don't get sucked into the annual discounts on all of the tools. Use it for at least 3 to 6 months, paying monthly before you convert to annual, because it's not just about whether it stays sticky and you continue to use it or not. It's actually that they're getting better all the time. And every month, my preferred tool changes. This month, my preferred tool is Claude AI. Last month, it was Perplexity. I keep flipping back to OpenAI occasionally, especially the custom GPTs, but I change my mind so often, and it's because they're getting better. It's like a war out there, right? That's why there are, people are talking about whether it is a bubble or not and the amount of money is being invested in it. So don't commit to anything just yet until you're really, really sure. And the human expertise, I can't say this enough. I hate it when people are like, oh, my friend, she used a ChatGPT to write an article for her and then she got in trouble at work or got fired. Well, I'm sorry, if she actually asked her assistant to write an article and then didn't check it, like, you wouldn't do that. You would always check something another human prepared for you. So don't trust AI in that same way. And here's a real world challenge that we're actually seeing. Like, people are like, oh, but it'll be right soon, right? Like, it's going to get there. And what we're actually starting to see is this self-referencing, and the models are actually degrading in quality. So we're going to see a little bit of going backwards before we go forwards, because it's training itself on its own content. So it's making up content that is plausible, or hallucinations, which is a term you've possibly heard. And then it's referencing that data. It's training itself on its own data. So it's like a computer game of Chinese whispers, right? And then the quality is unfortunately degrading. So it's actually going to make the importance of human verification even more important. Okay, I'm just going to finish up because I know I'm almost out of time with a quick, my favorite prompt method. I don't believe in prompt libraries. I actually would rather ask an AI to help me write a prompt than to go and try and look up a prompt library, which I'm sure you've possibly seen. I use the ask method because there's only 3 things to remember. And it's the exact same 3 things. If you had an employee off and got a temp in to replace them, these are the exact same 3 things that you would ask that temporary employee, right? You would explain to them what you want it to do. So that's the action. Explain what you want it to do. What style do you want it in? Describe the format. If you want a blog that's only 5-minute read, say 5-minute read. It's very good. If you say concise, it's not really going to understand what concise means to you, okay? So try to be specific in that style, and then give it the key details. If you give it a heading, it's going to make up all the content. If you actually tell it what your opinion is, and when I use AI to help me write my blogs, I will write a whole page. Right? I'll give it that much context. Like, I'll write almost an A4 page worth of content in there, but it's verbal diarrhea in a way. But the more content you give it, the more context, details, the better the result is going to be, just like if you gave it to another person. So until next time, Kavita, thank you, has invited me to speak at BackBone Connect, which I'm so excited to. And so I'm going to be continuing this theme and moving into a bit more of the working smarter, not harder with AI. Hope to see you there. Thanks, Kavita.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Janey. And yeah, Janey's going to be presenting at BackBone Connect. So if you want to meet her, have any follow-up questions, come along, and promises to be a great day.